Cheers, fuckers. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm all alone right now. The Olive Drab hooligans are fucking AWOL. Let's see who's in the house. Oh, Jen's there. Her furnace is now fixed, which is good. What's going on? What's everybody doing? Thursday night, last night of summer, till winter 2.0 shows up. Rush night. I got a bunch of people downstairs that are hopefully watching this. They're eating all my delicious food right now. So what are they eating? Let me show you what they're eating. People want me to do a food episode. I'm actually thinking about fucking doing it here. They're eating this. Here's what they're eating. I want to do a Mediterranean theme night. It's my cousin's birthday. Him and his lovely wife are here. My friend Vic and Tony are here. So what you see there is a kafta lamb and beef meatball in a harissa sauce. There's also some souvlaki chicken with some tzatziki sauce. There's my main man right there. Fuck, let's get him in the house here. We've also got a saffron rice with some toasted pine nuts. This is how I'm killing time, Bryce. Some saffron rice with some toasted pine nuts and dried cranberries. There's some saffron in there, some turmeric, and this lovely bean Mediterranean style salad type deal. And there you go. There's my fucking filler. Bryce is on scene right now. Fuck, he's on site. And there he is. There's the other man too. So yeah, that's what I made tonight. That's what's going on. I'm fucking running around. People downstairs, people upstairs. And here we go. So welcome to Fire for Effect. There he is. There's the man. He's dropping.
Yeah, man.
What's going on, bud?
Oh, not much, man. I was hammered down yesterday coming back from Chilliwack.
Is there still snow over the pass or what?
Oh, buddy, 25 centimeters right at the summit.
Oh, perfect. So we're not riding across there yet. There he is.
No.
Looking good. Everybody's looking good. Give me 30 seconds to do a quick intro. Welcome to Fire for Effect Live, 7 April, Thursday. It's 18 hours. I apologize. I missed last week. I got this new job, which is fucking things up. Fire for Effect Live is brought to you by... Hang on. Too loud, Bryce. I'm going to punch you out for a second. The Dean Blundell Network. Go to deanblundell.com for Canada's largest, yours and Canada's, if you're in Canada or wherever the fuck you're from, largest digital source of news, sports, media, and otherwise entertaining fucking shit. There's over 80 podcasts on Dean's network right now. There's also new gear, hashtag GFY. I'll explain that later. DeanBlundell.com. You can find my show. You can find a whole bunch of other ones. So check it out. Let's bring up the chat group. Everybody's in the house now. Good. Let's get the madman in. All right, you're in. What's going on down there? Live on location.
We're just getting ready to pull out here.
Rebecca, you're looking good. The weather's better. I'm going to bring up, before we get into this, there's a fuck ton of topics I want to talk about tonight, but the first one is what's going on with Water Warriors YEG. And I'm going to bring up some shit here that's really irritating me. So everybody just hang tight. Put the phone on mute. So recently, and Rebecca, I'll let you explain this. This is on the Water Warriors YEG website. They're busy.
Yep.
FYI, EPS cleared out a dozen encampments in the Ice District, which is for those of you in Edmonton, or if you're not in Edmonton, that's downtown by the new hockey rink. That's where the Boyle Street is, the Boyle Street shelter, Chinatown area, in the ways leading up to what she's calling winter eruption. I'm going to let her explain this in a second. All over the same time frame, and multiple shelters and bridge housing sites shut down for the season permanently, displacing people with nowhere else to go, so that folks can enjoy festivals without having to observe poverty. What's worse is the majority of these encampments are set up near or in front of services like Boyle Street Co-op, Herb Jameson Shelters, Hope Mission, Women's Shelter, and the George Spady SCS. These are services that people, many with limited or low mobility, depend on for food, clothing, bathrooms, harm reduction, supplies, resources, such as meetings with housing income workers, etc., making theirs higher for the sake of fucking aesthetics. So the short version of when I'm reading this, I'm going to let Rebecca explain this, is so that rich fucking privileged white people over the festival season, which is summer in Edmonton, don't have to see these, face the poverty and the homelessness that's in the cities. Many of them those guys are potentially or are veterans. The cops went in, and I'm up shitting on the cops. I'm shitting on the city of Edmonton and our fucking loser mayor, who I didn't vote for, that they're cleaning this up so that everybody can, not see the reality of life. So I'm going to let Rebecca jump in because they're doing their walk right now. Rebecca, come on board and tell us what's going on down there.
Okay, so this is a regular damn thing that they do. It's supposedly not EPS. It's supposed to be done by park rangers, assisted by bylaw officers. Generally, sweeps happen before hockey games as well, not just these festivals that's going on.
And there's a game tonight, right?
That I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm really not a hockey fan because I'm tired of them climbing over us while we're trying to reverse a death poisoning. I'm not a real big hockey fan anymore after seeing what the Oilers fans like to do to our community. So they, depending on the situation, they're supposed to give them 48 hours. So they're supposed to have an eviction notice of 48 hours, and that's supposed to give them enough time to get all their stuff together and be able to pack up and move on. But that's not always an option either, because we have folks with limited mobility, wheelchairs, walkers, missing toes and fingers and stuff like that. Makes it real difficult to pack up in that amount of time. But often,
where do they expect these people to go?
Yeah, that's what we'd like to know.
Right?
Because they literally just closed down the winter shelters. So we did have 1,200 beds until those shut down. I'm not sure the bed count now, but it's a lot less because now those are gone. Folks don't really have anywhere to go but the river valley. That's kind of where they're forcing them to go off to. So yeah, like the posters said, they're not near resources anymore. They're not near the safe consumption site. They're not near any washrooms. They're not near any food sources, no place to do laundry, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So all of the services that they're used to having, they're not going to have anymore if they're stuck in the river valley.
So this is happens every year. That's what you're saying, right?
It happens every week. Never mind every year.
Every week. Okay, yeah, educate me because I'm not aware of the fact that these fucking encampments, that these people are, it's their only source, their only base of operations to get the services that they need to survive. And suddenly the city, in the interest of aesthetics and beautification and not having whatever the stigma is that the city thinks it is there, they just basically come in and they tear these things down and kick everybody out.
Yep. Yeah, it's supposed to be done. Like I said, the standard on the standard that we've been told from the city of Edmonton in the many, many, many meetings we've had with them is that for a medium risk camp, it's 48 hours. So they have a whole risk assessment that they won't share with us. We have no idea how they're assessing the risk. So medium risk is 48 hours. High risk is like immediately. They're looking at hopefully revamping that, but right now what we're seeing is basically
we lost your audio. You might have to jump back in and jump back out. There, Rebecca, you got no audio. This is what we call technical difficulties.
Well, that's so far so good, Chris. I mean, this doesn't happen to us that often, realistically.
This fucking happens every fucking time, man.
Behind the scenes, it does, but it seems transparent to everybody else. So.
Hang on, I'm gonna text Bryce. I don't even know where my phone is. Bear with us, folks. Say some whimsical shit. Tell everybody about your journey. Bryce. No audio. Okay, we'll come back to that. We got to keep the shit moving.
Yeah.
Hey, that guy looks like Nico. What's going on? How was the trip?
Oh man, the trip was awesome. I mean, you know what the island's like. It's Canada's Hawaii.
You made it out to the island.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
I got to see a few. Well, it was pretty much. I was doing my sniper tour, visiting old snipers, so it was pretty sweet. I even made it up to. Oh, I think they're back.
Good. You're back.
Oh, okay.
We lost your audio.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rebecca, tell us to wrap this, to summarize what's going on tonight. Tell me what you guys are doing tonight, and tell me what steps you guys are taking and what other people can do to help combat this fucking displacement thing.
We sort of depend on public donations. So everything folks do. Maybe because it's up. Okay, sorry guys. Better. Okay, so we depend on public donations to be able to give out to these folks. So for them to have like tents and sleeping bags, etc., those are donations that we need. Cash is always a great thing. We use those for the snacks and stuff we give out to folks.
Oh, we lost them. Okay, we'll touch base with those guys later on. Water Warriors YEG, if you're in the Edmonton area, check it out. They got a website. They are on Twitter. And if you look at the little fucking narrative down below, everybody's on YouTube points down below like there's something down there. There's nothing down there but my fucking nuts. But anyway, on your screen down below, there's a narrative that describes the show, and there's the Twitter account, and there's the Instagram account. Hey,
sorry, Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah. You're having technical challenges, so I just explained everybody to how they can get a hold of you guys. And Bryce, we'll touch base later on. Okay. Fuck, he's out.
Yeah. Oh well.
All right, fuck, what a week, man. I got a lot of shit I want to cover, and it's all Army shit.
Oh well, I'm all in, man. Let's do it.
This is it. Okay. I know this is fucking metal stuff. So let's get into it, because everybody watching wants to dial right in. Text them and tell them we'll get back to them. First thing, this is what I wanted to cover a week ago. Why some foreign fighters, this is including Canadians, quit plans to battle for the Ukraine. And this is an article. This is a little bit old now. But it's really interesting because I know a whole whack of guys that we're all fucking heroes. They want to go sign up and go over there. And then there was another article, an exclusive. So many Canadian fighters in the Ukraine, they have their own battalion. Of course, they got a patch made. What fuck? Why wouldn't they?
Obviously, stands to reason.
Right? The Canadian Ukrainian Brigade, which I guess from a guy that was actually on the ground, like literally on the ground, that I know, this is actually a true thing. So like 500 fucking guys showed up. Now, who knows what skill sets they had? You could have had some fucking relic from the 80s, right? Who's
actually
looking...
Chris, just to touch on that, like just talking to guys that are currently serving and some dudes that just got out. I can probably I know like a section of dudes like from the 3rd Battalion, like former guys that are still fairly current, that were like senior NCOs that have released probably like within the last 2 to 5 years that have
Yeah,
gone over. So there's some pretty competent dudes over there.
there is, but there's also a bunch of dudes, and I'm not shitting on those guys. They kind of
Yeah,
like missed their war because we had ours and they never
yeah,
got theirs.
yeah.
I
I
know
get
a
it.
lot of old fucking dudes because I'm an old dude myself. Like I got in the military in 1988, and all the guys that like brought me up were all trained to fight Russia.
Yeah,
And all they got was maybe, if they're lucky, Cyprus, Golan Heights tours, or Egypt in the 70s, whatever, right? So a lot of those fucking dudes are pretty pumped up to go over there and get it on. Now,
yeah,
so I imagine that was a mixed bag. That being said, going back to the story here, this piece, I dug into this a little bit. It was interesting because when you go over there, what they're saying is, well, we want you to sign on for 3 years and like turn in your fucking passport. So that's a bit of a fucking problem. One.
yeah.
Number two is they're not equipping them adequately or at all.
No,
Now, this is conjecture, right? So, like, I don't know. I'm not there. But this is what I'm reading and hearing from guys. Like, they're the last guys to get equipped because they're already starved for fucking kit. So imagine this. You sign your ass up. You want to go fucking take names. You get there. They say, well, in the interest of your liability, we want you to fucking turn your passport in, and you basically belong to us for 3 fucking years, and we got no shit for you right now. I could see a lot of guys going, fuck you, man. I'm putting it
yeah.
on the line, unpaid or whatever, to come over here to fucking help you out. I don't know, man. Like, what do you think about that? What do you think about it? What do you know? Have you talked to anybody? I'm gonna go look at the
I mean,
check.
I've talked to a few like this is like second, third hand information. Like I know individuals that have talked to guys that are there, and like there's been some pretty gnarly stories, like some pretty heavy fighting, like massive amount of casualties that these guys have been taking. But yeah, you're hearing a lot of these stories now where guys are saying like we're not being equipped, we're not being looked after, and so some guys are just there's I've heard stories of guys like that literally showed up and they're like okay like ready to go, and then they kind of read them the riot act, and then they're like, "See you later," because
Yeah,
yeah,
and then I don't fucking blame them, man. Like if
no,
I
neither do
went
I.
over there to fucking, I'd be like, okay, here's what I do. I'm an artillery forward observer. But long before counter IED was a fucking thing, that was my thing. When I did my forward observer course, and sit down, kids, 1989, it was
Wow.
against Russian fucking doctrine. So you know what? Give me 2 fucking Stinger jets. Give me some javelins, and here's what I'm going to go do.
Yeah, and I'm the same way, Chris. Like exactly. Like
Right?
as a sniper, I'd be like, yeah, like give me a scoped
Yep.
rifle, and just let me do me.
Exactly, man. I wouldn't be going there to see where I'd fucking to stand in a line and fill out a bunch of forms and fucking wait to be told where you need
No.
me.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like you got the president of the Ukraine go, we need this, we need that, and I've seen what the fuck's going on over there,
Yeah.
in imagery and everything. It's like I don't have fucking time to stand in line with these other fucking wannabe fucking Call of Duty cunts. What I want to do is this. This is my very specific skill set.
Yeah.
It could be have to do with how to fucking IED the shit out of these Russians, or
Yep.
you can employ me as a forward observer, and I'll show you how to take out a bogged down column.
Yep.
They got Su-25 frogfoots. They got javelins and stingers. I'll show you how to fuck with these guys because
Yeah.
that's what I was trained to do for years and years and years.
No.
But it's just, if you think I'm going to go on Ukrainian basic fucking training, turn my passport in, and fucking sign my life away for 3 years to fit into your paradigm, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
So
I think that would be a big like for me personally, and I got no desire to go over there. But let's assume for 1 minute that I did, because I mean, being a sniper was great, and
Yep.
being an operational sniper is even better. So if I got
Yep.
over there, and I'm ready to rock and roll, and then they're like, turn in your passport, I'd be like, no bueno, man, like not a chance, not a chance. right?
No,
I mean,
I
like, 'cause
can't.
at the
I
end of the
can't
day,
confirm that, but that's what Buddy said in that
yeah,
article. And everybody watching this, you can Google the same shit I'm showing
yeah.
you.
But
So yeah, I'd be
at the
like,
end of the
"Fuck you,
day,
that ain't happening." And
yeah,
I'm
and
not
at
signing
the
up
end of
for
the day,
3 years. And you don't even fucking. I'm not there to get paid in rupees or whatever. I'm there
yeah.
to go fucking help you solve problems. But I'm definitely going to have some input into how I'm doing it.
Yeah, because
Right?
at the end of the day, Chris, like you said, like you've got a very specific skill set, as do I. So I'd be going over there, and like, let's not get it twisted. I'd be like, the Ukraine needs me. I don't need the Ukraine. I'll be
Exactly.
like, so here
I'm
you
pretty
go.
comfortable kicking it and fucking back here doing podcasts and making money on my civvy job.
Yeah.
Would I love to go over there and help them? Fuck yeah. But not, I
Not
can't
with that.
get tied up with fucking red tape and bullshit.
Nope.
And I, I, I haven't heard much about that, but it was again, because we missed a fucking pod last week. It's something I wanted to talk about because I was really surprised. I didn't know it was a bit of a fucking shit show. That being said, I'm going to flip it because I always flip it. I can imagine the logistical challenges the Ukraine is facing. We talked about this, I don't know, like last month, with all these fucking assholes all showing up at once. Like there's this kid who was on Dean Blundell's pod,
Yeah.
who's this fucking little yuppie guy. I don't follow him, and I know he's got great aspirations of being a big time fucking war fighter. He's an EMR. You got all these fucking wannabe guys who took a weekend warrior CQB course that have no real time in, and they all, they're all the same story. Well, I couldn't get into the Canadian military. I really wanted to because of my medical condition or something. So like, shut the fuck up. You were either in the Canadian Armed Forces or you weren't. And so they get a million of those guys from all kinds of different countries that, you got to put your hand on your heart and fucking be respectful for what they're trying to do. But they all show up at the border. They don't have any real experience other than Call of Duty and a will to go to something they think that they want to go do till it's real. They got to manage all that shit logistically, blah, blah, blah. Right. So I get that, but you need to separate the fucking, what's the term? The wheat from the chaff or some fucking thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Players from the chaff. It's an Air Force term. And figure out who the fuck the real military guys are. Show up with your fucking MPR or dog tags or I don't know, something.
Yeah.
And say, this is fucking me. Put me over in that group and take the rest of these fucking guys that look like they just came out of a fucking Starbucks in Toronto, right? With their fucking fruity ass socks and fucking designer shoes and horn rim glasses, and fuck them, put them over there, right? You need to separate war fighters from wannabes. And that would help them expedite who the fuck they need to arm and where they need to put them to get them in the fight. And I don't know if they're doing that. I don't have a clue. But this whole shit about, well, you got to turn in your passport and sign up for 3 years. If that's true, and as I understand it, it sounds like it might be, I'd be like, fuck you. I'm out of here. Bye. This is what I'm here to do. Just fucking give me the tools I need. Tell me who you want to integrate me with. Give me a fucking a terp so I can talk to Ukrainian units, and let's go get it on. That's how it would be for guys that are experienced warfighters. I'm trying to read all these fucking comments, man. So here's a question. Danielle, I can't even read that much, Danielle. Come on. Brevity. I'm going to put you full screen so I don't look so bad.
Yeah.
Danielle says, wouldn't it be wise for NATO countries who have experienced skill set, retired members, etc., to go through their country, save the time? No, they can't do that. So I get what she's asking, but NATO has to be
Impartial. Like we can't. We have to be. NATO has to be hands off.
Yeah, that's running really thin with me, but yeah, which we're gonna come to soon. Spoiler alert. So I understand what you're saying, but I think the only way that would work is if there was, let's say, NGOs or ODA, whatever term you want to use, non-government organizations, NGO. We'll use that term, Danielle, to answer your question. So if you had an NGO that hypothetically aligned with what the Ukraine government needs, that could fucking form units internally within Canada, like vet the volunteer process, say within Canada, the United States, UK, Germany, fuck Germany right now, France, wherever, and then like get organized pre-deployment, if you will, outside of the government. That could work. Long pause.
Yeah.
That's right. It'd have to be
Yeah.
an NGO. It'd have to be a privately owned company that stood up like a fucking, I don't want to use the word Blackwater, but that's the first thing that comes to mind, right?
Maybe you're essentially looking at private contractors, mercenaries, whatever you want to call them.
Well,
Right.
not so much private contractors, more than a private contract company back here, rear party, fucking that organizes it and says, and I think there's a couple websites, if we didn't cover this before, where you want to go to the Ukraine and minimize the fuckery on the other end, come here, we will process you internally, vet you internally, form you, and then we'll interact with the Ukraine direct and say this foreign legion thing, that whatever the fuck they're calling it, and go, we will provide you this for this duration of time with these skill sets. The expectation for equipment minimum based on your scant resources are XYZ. Do you concur? Yes, no, maybe. Fuck, maybe you and me should do this, man. We're both going to be out of work soon. Because this shit isn't over.
No, God knows, far from over.
Yeah. So I don't know, but that's what's going on. What's she saying now?
Yeah.
So that's what she's getting at. So yeah, officially NATO can't stick their dick into this pie. But there's probably other ways of doing it. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see much like change into like the application and processing of these foreign legionnaires, whatever you want to call them.
Not now. No.
Not for the foreseeable future.
No, they're kind of balls deep into it right now. So like I just can't see that. So it's hard to say.
And it is like it's a total crapshoot. I mean, yeah.
And I haven't heard, like my last buddy Marcel was over there, and I went that night. I got all emotional and shit.
Yeah, but he's there for different reasons, though.
He's there for different reasons. Ex-military guy, but that's not why he went. He took the Zero guys over there to do heavy urban search and rescue. So they are reconstituting right now. He's in Holland actually doing some jumps. Then he's coming home. I think he's home next week. And they're home for a month, and then he's rebuilding the team, and I believe he's going back end of April or May. Not sure, but I'm going to get him on the show while he's back in Canada, and we'll talk to him, tell me what the fuck's going on over there. Because he was giving me a lot of the play-by-play from an artillery guy perspective on the use of MLRS, fucking all kinds of indirect fire exchanges that were going on, shit like that. So it was a pretty interesting source. What does Jen have to say? Polish is it? Yeah, well, fuck, I know, right? So let's look at the map. When in doubt, go to the map. Here is the current disposition in real time. What the fuck's going on here? Clearly, the Russians aren't doing as well as they thought. So the shit up in purple, which we're going to come to later, because this little country up here. Sorry, I'm wiggling my mouse around the word Belarus. You guys can't see that. But these guys are fucking cunts, and I'm going to talk about them in a bit. At the end of the day, the Ukraine's doing a bunch of counterattacks north of Kyiv. And this is where Russian supply lines would have ran short, where they would have came through Russia, came in from the north east, and then also tried to flank in through from the northwest to the southwest through Belarus. But they got shittier kit than we thought, and their guys are fucking junk, and they extended their logistics too thin. So they're getting pushed back, and they're reconstituting along that border. And now his new fucking plan B, which is always part of his great plan, is, well, we're just going to hammer fuck out of the east and the south because they have access to that. So I honestly think all the shit you guys are seeing in pink right now is going to get fucking ugly quick. And here's why that's important. Even if they go to the table and they sit down and they go, okay, Zelensky says, we'll concede these areas, read Crimea 2014, whatever.
Yep.
And you can have them. Do you think this is going to fucking end? Do you think he's done? He's not done, man. He's reconstituting. And that's a military term or a term, which means he's going to fucking grab some ground, hold it, bullshit his way at the table with peace talks in Turkey, because we can trust them. And fucking what he's really doing is resupplying, re-outfitting, re-equipping, re-recruiting, reconstituting his military for his next plan. There's no fucking scenario in my mind where he's just going to concede that little bullshit chunk of fucking ground in eastern Ukraine. Like, do you think he's gonna, the shit he's risked with the world hating him, that just that little bullshit, he's already got the fucking Crimea, so don't even look at that. Look at these other areas along the southeast and along the east. That's a substantial gain. He's gonna call that fucking victory. Like, what do you think? What do you think, man?
I mean, like you said, I mean, who knows, right? We can say a lot of things about Putin, but at the end of the day, I'm going to stand by what I said, and he's not stupid. Like,
no,
he
you're not
might
wrong.
be crazy. He might be. So, like, I mean, was his intention to take all of Ukraine, or just pick away at it? Kind of like he took Crimea, and now here we are. 6 years later, and he's pushing further. Is he going to wait 8 more years, and then push further?
Well, you know what, man? You might be right. Maybe he hedged his bets. Maybe he said, "Fuck it, let's see if we can get Kiev."
Yeah.
If we can't, fuck it. We'll just edge our way in.
Yeah.
Slowly, like grab a little bit at a time. Wait a few years, the dust will settle. Clearly there's more fucking dust now than before.
Because when you think about it, even from like a fiscal point of view, do you think is it more expensive for NATO to have soldiers in Europe, or is it more expensive for Putin to have soldiers in Europe? He's just got to have his guys sitting on the border eating nothing and mistreating them. I mean, to have soldiers in Europe, we're hemorrhaging money for what?
Absolutely.
So I mean, he can sit there, wait. He can wait us out, and we're just, like I said, we're hemorrhaging money, and he's just playing a waiting game.
Todd, what are you getting at? The GOC now has the right to seize your property and assets. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's rabbit hole. That's Government of Canada. We're not talking about that right now. I agree with him. I know what he's talking about, but it's just not what we're talking about right now.
Todd, you went left wheel and marched right the fuck off the parade square. Stay on target.
Left wheel.
Whatever the fuck you're on about, I do want to have a follow on, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Todd. It's just not the time right now. Right.
Yeah.
God knows I got my beef with the Government of Canada.
That's a whole other fucking show.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I'm not going to block you. You're okay. He's a good guy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's really hard to say. Like, that Putin motherfucker is insane. Legit. What's Jen fucking on? I'm trying to run the board here.
She said, yeah, he might not have the time, but he might not. Like I said, I'm like I said, these are just all assumptions and looking at what he's done in the past with Crimea. Like, it is a total crapshoot. He might not have the time. I mean, yeah, he's an old man, but then I guess, worst case scenario, who takes over from him? Sometimes we're better with the devil than the devil you don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've been fucking going on about this for weeks, and I've done a little bit of research. Let's just talk about Belarus for a second here. This is the fucking guy that runs Belarus. Now, most of you guys don't know shit about Belarus because they're not in the optics. But what you should know is that they are Russia's #1 ally. This fucking cat right here, he looks like a trustworthy dude. Look at the size of his fucking hat, man.
Yeah, the bigger your hat, the more trustworthy you are. I mean, obviously.
That's Alexander Lukashenko. Now, he's an old ass fucking Soviet Union dude who's seized power in Belarus and all the corruption and shit you've heard about power grabs in Russia. This fucking guy is the exact same type of person.
Yeah.
Which effectively makes Belarus is just a puppet state of the former Soviet Union, number one ally, also part of the UN. Not a permanent member like Russia. What a fucking joke that is. They're going to save that for another show.
Well, whatever. The UN's a joke. Next question.
The UN's a joke. Next question. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Because look at all their successes. So Belarus is a fucking major player. Here's what pisses me off. So let's talk relationships. Russia and Belarus are in bed together.
Yeah.
They're not part of NATO, neither country. They're part of all these other bullshit fucking agreements that no one cares about, that mean nothing, that get violated all the time.
Yep.
Ukraine also not part of NATO. Now, Putin came out and said, there shall be no NATO interference in the Ukraine. Right? We can all agree to that. So, okay. I'll be like, didn't say anything about Belarus. They're not in the war. They're your buddy. Ukraine's our buddy. So here's what I would be doing. And this is just me. I would be fucking over. They are getting sanctioned. I would be fucking invading Belarus if I was Lithuania, Poland, and just pouring the fucking cock to them. And if Putin made a bunch of noise, I go, wait a minute. I thought we were in an open relationship. Why are you fucking Belarus? Well, I thought we were in an open relationship. You're fucking Ukraine. We stayed out of it. We're going to fuck Belarus to keep Russia out of it. Where am I going with this? In my failed attempt at humor. If I'm going to bring the map back up so we're all explicitly clear here. Where's the fucking map? Look at that border. You see that city called Cherniv? I'm probably pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah.
I apologize. You see the border, Belarus, Russia. All these fucking guys that came in from the northeast to attack Kiev, your typical pinch point, fucking blah, 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 whatever, right? All were harbored by Belarus. Belarus has also allowed them to bring in fucking short-range tac nukes. So they're just, and no one's doing anything. I'm like, fuck those guys, man. Go in and fucking beat them like they owe you rent money. And you completely limit Russia's ability to come at the Ukraine from the north. Like, it boggles my mind how fucking weak NATO is. Sanctions. Because I could tell you right now, this cat Alex, who's on Dean Blundell's network, he's sending over imagery which would blow your fucking mind of the atrocities and shit that were happening over there. And fuck, what's NATO doing? What are the NATO countries doing? Oh, well, we're going to close the McDonald's in Moscow, and we're going to sanction. We're going to put sanctions. You know what they need right now? They need fucking sanctions. They need goddamn fucking Javelin missile systems. They need.
Hey, Chris. I'm gonna throw something out there. I'm gonna be my usual self, and I'm sure we're
go ahead. Good.
But I'm gonna say it anyway. So, I mean, let's face it. I mean, somebody asked me the other day to ask me like how many medals I had, and I kind of jokingly said I was like, for wars I've lost, I was like, I got like 2. I was like, and for wars I've won, I've got 0. So I got participation medals, right? No victory medals. And so I guess what I'm getting at is, like I said, we haven't won a war since World War II, realistically. And I mean, it's kind of a shitty way to look at things, but in our current political climate, like NATO, Canada, the United States, we do not have the stomach to do what we need to do. We focus on sanctions and nation building and things like this. This is going to sound very harsh. If you are going to, like, if you're going to be like, fuck Belarus, and we're going to commit to this, what we need to commit to is, and whether you people want to hear this or not, is you have to be willing to go in there and absolutely defile that civilization, kill everybody, and drink their fucking blood from a boot. If you're not willing to do that, stay the fuck out of it. Because if you're not willing to kill everybody, you're destined to lose.
You're not entirely wrong, and here's why. I am dead against what the fuck the Russians are doing to civilians. Okay, they're called war crimes. Let's talk about that for a second.
100%.
War crimes. Do you know when the term war, for everybody listening, watching, do you know when the term war crimes became a term? 1949. Geneva Conventions were signed in 1949, which defined the international rules for how we manage prisoners of war and non-combatants in warfare. 1949. 49. Key word. Key year, 49. Do you know what happened before 1949? Forget Germany's. I don't want to talk about genocide. Whole separate conversation. We're not talking about fucking genocide tonight. But I'll tell you what, to Morgan's point, prior to Nagasaki and Hiroshima, which killed about 235,000 civilians, 2 nuclear bombs by the Americans, you think after they dropped the first one and went, fuck me, that'd be enough? No, they're like, well, fuck it. We built 2. Let her buck.
Let her rip.
Prior to that, Tokyo, the largest city in Japan at the time, I think still is. Once they realized it was made of wood, they said, fuck it, we'll incendiary bomb the fucking thing. They used incendiary weapons and literally burnt Tokyo to the fucking ground, killing about 100,000 people. So we're talking about 335,000 civilians, give or take, that the Americans killed in Japan. I don't have the time nor inclination to cover what the Allies did in Germany and fucking everywhere else. So to Morgan's point, if you really want to fucking win a fucking war, you gotta get fucking, you gotta go all in.
You got to get dirty.
And I know a lot of people struggle with that, but right now everybody's afraid of that Putin's crazy and he's going to call in the nuclear option, which that's the end of days. But you cannot this sanction shit is bullshit. And this, we can't have a no-fly zone. No, NATO can't interfere. Okay, you can't fuck with the Ukraine because that was a drill, but you can't fuck with Belarus, or I would. If I was in charge of whatever, if I was Biden, I'd say, fuck it, fuck NATO, coalition of the willing. We're going to invade Belarus just because we think they're cunts. You've done it in other countries. Why won't you do it now? Like NATO is all NATO is doing right now is showing how fucking weak it is. While a country is dog paddling on its own by a fucking shithead dictator, bully, who thinks he can flex whenever and wherever he wants, while we say, well, we're not going to buy your fucking oil. I'm like, holy fuck, man.
Yeah. So, like, here's another lighthearted way to kind of look at history. So, I mean, like, all our NATO countries, like, throughout history, like, we've kind of told everybody that we're the good guys, whereas Russia, throughout history, have always been like, we're the asshole, and on our part, like, what a rookie move, man. You never go full good guy. So now, like, if we were to do the nuclear option, we're not going. We'll never take the nuclear option because we're the good guys. If Putin takes a nuclear option, you're like, well, he has said he's the asshole. It's kind of what they do. So we're kind of like, well, same old shit, really.
Yeah, nukes are the big fucking problem with this whole thing. If nukes weren't a thing, we'd be balls deep in this thing right now. 100%, man. I think. Maybe. Now we would be. Just because of the exposure on TV and just the way it's lopsided in the media. I'm not, like, Russia's a bunch of fucking cunts. They invaded a non-combatant country. They invaded a country who did nothing to them. And then created some bullshit. Well, they're Nazis and they're fucking us over. Like, how are they fucking you over? Show me what the Ukraine did to Russia to provocate that. Here's what it is. He just wants to use that Ukraine, he's always considered an extension of the Soviet Union, as a buffer between the West and Russia. He can give 2 fucks about the Ukraine people and their fucking identity and their culture. Don't think for a minute that's what it is. It's not what it is. He wants a buffer zone. He's got Belarus. He's like, okay, well, fuck, I already got Belarus in my pocket. Him and that Alexander Levchenko fucker, they do fondue on Wednesday nights. Great. He wants to take Ukraine, big, huge chunk, seaport, major fucking strategic thing for him. But what's next? Let's say he took it. Let's say NATO or Ukraine failed to resist. He did seize it in 3 days. The West did fuck all, which is what it's going to do anyway. What's next? Slovakia? Or like he just wants to rebuild the fucking Iron Curtain. So I guess I get it, but I don't know. I don't have any answers.
Yeah, I don't know. Like everybody says, oh, he wants to rebuild the Soviet Union. He wants to rebuild the empire. I'm like, I don't know. I could go either way on that. I mean, maybe I don't know. Like he's too old. He's too long in the tooth. And it's going to take too long and too much money to happen. Maybe he wants people. It's like he wants people to believe that, because it creates fear, and it's a bit of an us against them mentality. But I don't know if he's going to do that. But as long as he has, kind of people shaking in their boots and people questioning like what he's going to do. Nobody knows what he's going to do. It's kind of like an ace, kind of an ace in the hole for him because he's the wild card, right? If we knew what he was going to do, well, we, like I said, we just, we paint him into a corner and just be done with him.
Well, I like, here's why I'm at a loss for words, man, because like a lot of my tactical assessments have been correct on how they're going to do things, what they're going to do. But a lot of my shit strategically has been completely fucking wrong. I literally don't know what the fuck he's trying to do now. So I think he still wants a buffer zone between Western Europe and Russia. I don't know why. There's no NATO country that ever threatened him when 70% of fucking Russian natural resources are required by Europe to fucking function. So like how is fucking the West a threat? I don't get that. So I'm lost on that, right? So why do you need a buffer zone? Why do you need to annex the Ukraine? What the fuck is in the Ukraine that you have to get that's costing fucking thousands of lives? And civilian casualties really piss me off, especially when they're deliberate. Collateral damage, fuck, I don't even go there. But like, what the fuck is the end game here? Like, I'm literally fucking running out of fucking ideas and where we're going with this thing. And the only people that are suffering, they're just fucking destroying this country, man. People who 2 months ago, Christmas time, were having a fucking time, going about their day-to-day lives, and suddenly these fucking assholes who'd been amassing this fucking army on the border for over a year, and the West was like, oh shit, they got 150,000 assholes straddling the border. Like, fuck, man, I just don't know. I don't know. Let's go to the crowd. What do you fuckers think? I mean, I don't fucking know. There's military guys on here. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Jen.
the budget.
Look what Jen said. Throw that up.
Figure it out. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm sure I'd have a hell of a time.
You would have a hell of a time.
Yeah.
But good news. Our good buddy, Justin Trudeau, great guy that he is.
We're actually best friends. I got an email from him today.
Perfect. You guys should go do one of those fucking mystery theater dinners. $8 billion increase to the defense budget. That's a lot. That's a big number. That's actually a 34% increase over last year. With the procurement of 88 F-35s, which I think is a good idea, finally.
Yeah.
They picked the right fucking plane. But why is he suddenly pumping? Like, why is the liberal guy who's in bed with the NDP because he just can't have a fucking opposition dumping $8 billion? Is he that fucking nervous? Like fuck me, man. $8 billion does not take us to 2% GDP for NATO minimum, but it's a 34% increase over, I want to say, the last 3, 4, 5 years. Like, it's fucking huge, man. I was blown away. I love shit.
Fair enough.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, my inner fiscal conservative is coming out and being like, where the fuck are you getting this money from?
Oh, don't worry. We're paying for that shit. Trust me. The whole budget was like 56 billion. Like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that. That just depresses me.
Put it on a credit
already
card.
said my taxes are going to go up and blah 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 blah.
Our taxes can probably barely pay the interest on our debt. Like, I don't know where the money's coming from.
Let's avoid. I'm gonna crack another beer because you're just fucking dragging my will to live here down.
Dude, just ride your motorcycle to Vancouver Island is great. It's like Hawaii for Canada, and it's just full of hippies. It's a great place. Go out there. I don't know.
Fucking rains too much. But yeah, $8 billion. And that's outside of the F-35 purchase. That doesn't come out of that pot, which is going to cost a lot more than they claim it does. But it is their correct aircraft, like fucking hands down. So that blew my mind that he actually pulled the trigger on the F-35, which is the same thing he shot down before. But we could talk about the H-101. I don't want to go down that road. That's old news. So good news for the Royal Canadian Air Force. They're getting the fucking fighter jet that integrates with the rest of our fucking allies. It's the plan to get. If anybody says otherwise, they're that fucking stupid cunt that was in your unit that no matter how much money you gave him or good kit you gave him, he bitched about something.
Yeah.
It's the plan to get. Park that. $8 billion. Now, how are they going to spend it? Hookers and blow, put it all on black, or are they actually going to allow military guys, not some fucking civvy at D&D, to work the procurement? Are we talking nuclear subs to defend the North? Are we talking building that fucking base up by where is it, Manitoba? Churchill, that Navy base that wanted to build, right? Are they gonna what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do with the money?
I think we're gonna get gender neutral uniforms.
Gender neutral submarines. That's what we need. Fuck nuclear. We need fuck diesel. We need gender neutral submarines that are powered on the cost of zero carbon. No carbon fucking, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just getting mad right. Anyways, I don't know what they're going to spend the money on. We'll see.
Hookers and blow.
Hookers and blow. We'll see. Either way, $8 billion, huge increase. I really want to fucking find a reason to shit on this, but that is a fucking massive number. That is, we've been dog paddling in the sea of wasted effort for a few years, around 21 to 23 billion annually. Well, our all of our equipment, for those of you watching, want a 10-year history of the Canadian Armed Forces since we left Afghanistan, all the shit we brought back is beat up, broken, blown up, and fucked up. The VOR rate, which means vehicle on repair in any given combat arms unit, is what, 60, 70%?
Yeah.
So 70% of the fleet of combat fighting vehicles in any given infantry battalion, or I can't speak for the fucking tanks, but you're talking over 50% vehicle on repair, which means you got a fleet of shit sitting out there all fucked up waiting on parts. So it's great to say $8 billion is coming in and we're going to buy a bunch of new shit, but really you're going to need like a fucking third of that to fix what you already have sitting around the fucking unit lines.
Hey, Chris, Jen just brought up a good point. She's like, probably going to spend it on recruitment because it's so dismal. I'm kind of like, it's funny, we'll have all this new equipment, these new aircraft, all kinds of new tanks, no drivers, no pilots, no nothing. They'll just sit on a tarmac. Like,
well, funny you mention that. So it's interesting. Let's go back to F-35s for 2 seconds. Ellis Dawn, who's a major contractor in Canada, already had the contract for Bagotville and Cold Lake, which are the two main fighter bases in Canada. Not two main, the two only fighter bases in Canada, to start refurbing and retooling everything to accommodate the next aircraft. So this has been in fucking play for a while. That's open source shit. You can look it up. So there's more than the purchase of the aircraft. There is the training of the pilots, which will happen if we're going to procure this jet by 2025. And I'm using this as an example to explain to you guys the CF, or the Department of National Defense procurement cycle, which is typically 8 years long, to get a new vape pen. So first, actually, fuck the F-35. Let's use my vape here. The Canadian Armed Forces wants a new vape pen. Great. So the military writes up a requirement. We need a new vape pen. The one we got's a fucking piece of shit. It's from the 50s. The magazines are all bent on it. They don't feed properly. I'm referring to the Browning High Power for those of you in the know. It's fucked. We need a new one. So all this shit gets fed up. A bunch of fucking gurus in Ottawa do a bunch of studies on what's the best replacement for the current vape pen and used by the fucking Canadian Armed Forces. That takes a couple of years. But those guys get posted out, and a new guy comes in and he opens it up and goes, I got to reevaluate this. That takes a couple of years. Finally, it's fucking come to a head. We need a new fucking vape pen. Boom. We've defined the specs, or so, you know, the requirements, what we want, the specifications, and we put it out to tender. Lockheed Martin, McDonnell Douglas, Boeing, SNC Lavalin, fucking whoever, all put in proposals on the Canadian Armed Forces vape pen replacement program. Couple more years, they review it, and they're looking at price. Trust me, when you see military grade like your aluminum Ford F-150, military grade is built by the lowest fucking bidder, man. So military grade is not always the best grade. Anyways, eventually they narrow down the selection criteria based on who can meet the fucking delivery timelines, cost effectiveness, blah, 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 blah. And they begin doing trials. So all these vape pens from 3 or 4 different guys that got watered down get sent to Canadian Forces Base Gagetown, and a bunch of these fucking guys run around and they're vaping all over the base. They're in the unit lines vaping. They're in the Canex vaping. They're out fucking going down the trace in a tank vaping. They come back. They do a bunch of evaluations on it. That shit gets fed back up to Ottawa. Again, these big head master gunners and all these other fucking gurus completely disregard the best fucking vape pen they should buy and go, fuck it. We're going to go with this one because it's the cheapest and the fastest delivery. And you end up with this piece of shit vape pen that doesn't work the way it should be. The fucking troops hate it. And cost effective. Sorry, I might have fucked off on my own tangent. Where's Todd? He'd love this shit. So that's normally how it goes. Very rarely are we in the position where we got buy off the shelf. The last example of off the shelf was the purchase of the M777 howitzer, built by British Aerospace Industries, never fucking seen in combat, the latest state-of-the-art, most badass howitzer on the fucking planet. Canada bought the first one, sent them to Afghanistan ahead of the U.S. Marine Corps, made a drug deal where they were to get the next run of LAV 3s from General Dynamics. That's what happened. So, but that's fucking rare. We don't buy a lot of off-the-shelf fucking shit. So that's why understanding the procurement fucking process, as much as I do and as much as I wish I didn't, the procurement of the F-35 is a fucking huge thing. So, full circle, I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with $8 billion. There you go.
Yeah, a lot. Like sometimes, if you were to look at the amount of like our current budget and look at the money is actually spent on the equipment versus money that's spent on like R&D for said equipment, I guarantee you more is spent on R&D. And like we do research and development on things. I know, I guess we've got to do it, but sometimes maybe we can just look at a few allied nations, like for, you know, back to the high power. Like, dude, just buy a fucking Glock or a SIG 320 like the Americans have. Like, both of those are great pistols. Just pick one and be like, we're going to go with that one. Either one of those will be just fine. Just get one. Make a decision. Like, you don't need to evaluate.
You would fucking think a pistol's a no-brainer. We got Sig Sauers for select fucking assholes who don't need them.
Yeah.
You're pissing me off with this one now. Yeah, but you guys did good. Snipers did good.
Yeah, we did, because you know why? Because we managed to create a position at like DLR where an advanced sniper qualified warrant officer was posted in. So we had a man on the inside.
This is called a good news story for your listeners out there. Right. You got a guy in power. It's time to be fucking around with this. And is that how you got the TAC 50?
No, the TAC 50 was before then, but everything since then, like the fact like we have cut down like our own helmets. We have our snipers have different body armor. You know, what else do we? I mean, different like web gear and chest rigs, and it's all issued. We have different rucksacks. We have Mystery Ranch rucksacks, tier tactical. Like we've got soft body armor with separate plate carriers, our own helmets. We've got our own everything.
But when we get into the fucking tools, how long did it take the Macmillan TAC 50 to come into play?
The Macmillan TAC 50 came in kind of quick. We were one of the first countries to really like adopt like a bolt action, like an accurate 50, because thing was in Afghanistan 2002. So I think the flash to bang on that thing was pretty short.
And then you got Timberwolf, same time, 338.
That was 2005, 2006 timeframe, but now we're at the beginning of Afghanistan, so that was a quick flash to bang on that one as well. But here's an interesting one. So when we were in Afghanistan, one thing that was purchased off the shelf was a semi-automatic. It was a semi-automatic sniper weapon system. It was the AR-10 Tango. So basically, so picture like an oversized C7 chambered 7.62 or 308 for those of us that know the difference. And we had these things, you know, in service from I want to say 2005 until like last fucking year, and we've been trying to procure some type of AR-10 type platform since then, and they just came into the system last year.
Yeah, you just got a new one, right?
Yeah, it's called the C20. It's made by Colt Canada. Excellent rifle, but the entire time, why didn't they just go to Colt Canada and just like, hey man, like we need these rifles?
Because we have to have an open and fair competition.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I don't know what the name of it is, but with regards to like Colt Canada, there's actually a workaround for that because they're like the state armorer. Like if they can provide us something, we can kind of bypass that and go.
That's called a master service agreement and that's exactly what they need. So in the civvy world, that's called an MSA. I deal with these all the time. It's like fuck this. I will sole source through these guys. They get first right of refusal. Can you meet the spec? Yes. Good. I don't have to fuck around with fucking heebie-jeebie fucking industries, piece of shit fucking gun made in Bangladesh. I can go right to this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with guns made in Bangladesh, which I'm pretty sure there's zero, but anyway.
But then we do we do really wacky shit. Like the snipers now are getting a new bolt action rifle. And obviously, it went out to tender, and the obvious choice I think for a lot of guys was Cadex. It's a company in Saint Jean in Quebec, and they make an absolutely world class rifle.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking like this is people want these goddamn things. It's like I said, it's a world class rifle. If we got this thing, we'd be like rock and roll. And we thought this was in the bag. One, it's made in Canada. Two, nobody wants to talk about it, but it was made in Quebec. That's like the extra secret sauce. And on top of it all, it was an outstanding piece of equipment. So instead, we bought a Sacco, which is, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a Sacco rifle, but I don't know why we would buy something from a foreign country when we could buy something local that's actually better.
Isn't that from Finland?
Yes, I believe Sacco. Yeah, is from Finland. So. Yeah, but yeah.
Anyway, like some shit's hit and miss. Some shit we don't fuck around with. You talking about sniper systems? I'm talking about howitzers. We didn't fuck around with the Cougar Mark II for an MRAP vehicle, which is mine resistant fucking whatever it stands for.
I don't think we fucked around too much with the Leopard 2 with the
Leopard 2. Actually, good point. We did not fuck around with the A2. There's a bunch of shit we needed to get right away, and we got it. Maybe we are getting better. So actually, okay, fuck my analogy with the pen, because that's what I grew up with, the vape thing. We are getting better, but a lot of shit we're not getting better at. Our fucking personal kit needs to evolve faster. Tac vests, helmets. We still got these bullshit fucking 1990s helmets that they're slowly getting phased out. But you talk about main battle tanks, Leopard A2, Rockstar tank, man, it's right up there. M777 howitzer. The sniper systems you're talking about are MRAP vehicles we had in Afghanistan, which are all fucked up. The lavs seem to evolve faster than they need to. I remember getting the fucking Lorets in Afghanistan. We had to change all our routes because it didn't fit down. Like, where the fuck did this come from? We didn't even ask for this thing. Just here's your new shit. Well, it's too big. Take it back.
But now we're on the Lab 6. It's almost like they tried to, I don't know, they kind of rushed it into production. And the issues that they've had with these things, I mean, at one point in time, like the things were like twice as heavy, but they were running the same drivetrain. So they were just cracking axles left, right, and center.
Yeah, like fuck, man. That's that's normal shit. It's like, why are you banging this thing out? What is really wrong with? And I'm not a fucking mounted infanteer.
Yeah.
What was wrong with the Lab 3?
I think the Lab 3. I mean, like just as warfare progresses, like you want like a bigger gun, you want more armor.
Well,
but
we bought 25 mil Bushmasters because we got them cheap. Nobody was using 25. Everybody was using 30. Yeah. And it's like, hey, Canada will buy our fucking junk, like those subs and those fucking Australian F-18s. Hey, okay, 25 mil, there's a blowout sale. We'll buy them. And don't get me wrong. I've seen what 25 millimeter can do to bad guys. It's quite impressive.
It is, yes.
But we tend to buy shit that is like a generation behind. Or at least one. So upgrade the armament and everything. Lab 6, fuck, I lost track. Where happened to 4 and 5? I don't know.
We skipped over those.
We skipped them over. Yeah, it's like Windows fucking 11 came out. Where the fuck did Windows 9?
Because if you go from a Lab 3 to a Lab 6, I mean, just by simple math, it's twice as good, right?
The math says it's twice. That actually makes complete fucking sense. That's how I'd sell it. It's twice as good. Look at it. So I don't know, like the procurement cycle's these people are probably getting bored as fuck. Like, what the fuck? These guys should have fucking taken on the side note. Anyways, $8 billion infused into the defense budget. Very curious to see whose pocket that's coming out of. Probably yours and mine.
Absolutely.
Good for the military. I'm very curious to how DND and the CDS use that money. But it's a 34% increase. I hope they don't piss it away on sex change operations and diversification training and actually buy the boys some kit. We'll see. Yeah. Bryce is off the grid doing his thing. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I'm going to wrap this bitch up because I got people downstairs that I want to go hang out with for a bit. So Morgan, my man, I'm gonna give you a call tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Thank you very much. And we're going to try to pull something together for next Wednesday. I'm going to be back in lovely Kitimat, British Columbia.
Nice.
So we'll see what fucking happens. So Thanks for tuning in. Let me cover some sponsors because I didn't do it on the front end. Fire for Effect Live and Fire for Effect when I actually ever do another recorded one, which I hope to soon. Brought to you by Positive Mike's Brewing Company. Positive Mike's, you can get the gear, but you cannot get the beer. Soon you'll be able to get the beer. Also brought to you by Mr. Hooper Inc. He's the weed expert on the show. If you want alternatives to fucking conventional medicine, which fucks your liver up, get a hold of Bryce and he'll talk to you about those types of solutions. My good friends at Lakeside Farmstead, Mr. Jeff Noney and his family, who are smashing out amazing dairy products and the only source in the area for Wagyu X beef, which I need to go resupply because I'm running out and barbecue season's upon us. So thank you, everybody. And we're going to wrap this shit up. Until next time, stay fucking thirsty.